What is up, guys? Marcellus Williams, aka TheSwolefessor, here to educate you on health, fitness, and social well-being, and this is episode 8 of Time to Build. This is going to be taking you guys through today's pull-focused workout. So I have deadlifts, Pendlay Row, so then we're going through my pull workout. Let me actually show you guys exactly what I'm doing, as well as kind of catch you up with what this week has been looking like. So, oh, and just so you guys know, by the time you see this video, it will be up. I just uploaded a video, The Truth About Your Natural Muscle Growth Limits. So it's the most muscle you can build naturally. I talk about both the average man and then the genetic elite, exactly how much muscle mass you can realistically expect to build. And this has probably been, honestly, my most requested video since I started this channel. And the only reason I didn't do it for so long is because I kind of mentioned it in several videos, but I didn't do a full video towards it for so long, just because so many people get so angry when you talk about like natural limitations, stuff like that, because so much of the BS in this industry has taught people about like, oh no, you can gain muscle endlessly and gain strength endlessly. And I will say, it's not that you ever stop gaining muscle, but due to diminished returns, you get to a point where you're gaining such a little amount each year to where it's barely worth tracking. But anyway, I'll have that link down in the description down below. Be sure to check that out if you haven't. If you really just want the stone cold truth about how much muscle mass you can potentially put on as a natural, and I break it down completely, guys, both for the average person and those with elite genetics. I broke down both, so you can't be like, well, what about the genetically? Nope, broke it all down. Check that out. Anyway, back to the point of this video. So today, guys, we are on week 3. Come on. See if that clears up for me. There we go. We are on week 3 day, actually my bad, week 3 day 4 is what we are on today. So we have Pendlay rows, 3 sets of 6, controlled eccentric with 202.5 pounds. So that's really going to be like 200 pounds. And then a 3x5 with 332.5 or 330 pounds on sumo deadlifts. But before I do that, I have what you guys already know, my special more like RPE based numbers right here. So I have 2 doubles that I do on sumo deadlifts before I go to the 3x5 with 330 pounds. Now I'm on week 3 and 4. So let's see, for week 3 and 4 for doubles, if I'm feeling good, 360 pounds. If I'm feeling great, 372.5 pounds. I'm gonna probably decide after my Pendlay rows how I feel and see what I want to go with. Either way, I'm happy with this because this, guys, is over what I did with my initial 2 to 5 rep max test when I first started this program. If you guys remember, I think it was like, let's see, I want to say it was like 335 pounds perhaps, or 345, something like that. Yeah, it was 345 pounds for 5 reps. So now we're at the point where we're going to be working with weight that's over that. So that's what I have for the day. And all in all, guys, thus far, I can say the sumo deadlift has been feeling pretty good for the most part. Still definitely having to work on a lot of cues as far as spreading the floor more, keeping my chest up the way I want, making sure that my hips don't come up first, which part of that is just spraying the floor more, creating more torsion with my feet, really putting my hips forward, driving my hips through the bars, just a bunch of different cues that I'm working on. And I'll probably actually break those down for like more so like during the actual workout today, so you guys can like, these are cues that can carry over to your sumo and conventional deadlifts. These are important cues just for helping you have a stronger, more efficient pull overall. So I'll definitely be going over that. And I'm also, guys, don't think I've told you guys this. Yeah, this will be my 2nd day working on hook grip. So NCMO wants me to officially like start incorporating that, trying to work on hook grip. Basically, with every set of deadlifts that I do as many reps as I can with the hook grip before it gets a little bit too unbearable, and then I can go back to mixed grip. But he wants me to start working on it, so, you know, a few weeks, few months, however long it takes down the line, I can effectively hook grip with, like, you know, little to no pain or discomfort. Now, for those of you who are wondering, sorry, I know I'm gonna need a lot of questions about this. No, he does not have me doing hook grip because he's worried about muscle imbalances. Here's the thing, guys, and I think I've mentioned this before on deadlifts, but with mixed grip, the only reason you would have to worry about muscle imbalances being created from that is if you're doing an extremely high amount of deadlift volume, meaning like you're doing like several sets of deadlift volume a week, or, well, really it goes hand in hand, that combined with you're not doing enough back and bicep work, individual back and bicep work. Because if you're doing, or if deadlift is the only back and bicep work you're doing, then yeah, of course with mixed grip you're going to develop muscle imbalances, you know, in your traps, your biceps possibly, etc. But if you're on a well-balanced program, guys, where you're doing enough pulling motions, you know, where, you know, like barbell rows where where your hands are the same, either they're both over or both under, lat pull downs, weighted pull-ups, chin ups, bicep curls, barbell, dumbbell. It doesn't matter. If you're doing enough back and bicep movements, then that amount of volume is going to be more than enough to keep your muscles in balance. Now, if you're someone where you, like I said, you're doing like excessive amounts of deadlifts, like maybe you're doing like, I don't know, 20, 30 sets of deadlifts like a week, then yeah, you may need to make sure that you're doing adequate, you know, you may need to make sure that you're doing adequate back and bicep work to counteract that. If you can't because you're too tired from deadlifts, then yeah, you may want to consider hook grip for that reason. But the reason he has me work on hook grip isn't for muscle imbalances. It's just because it's going to guarantee that as I start working with heavier loads, that the weight's not going to fall out of my hands. Like, it's almost impossible to drop the bar with hook grip. Now, mind you, I've never really had that issue with dropping the weight in general, but since we're kind of hoping or expecting that my sumo is going to surpass my conventional in time, then it's going to be like, you know, a lot heavier. The weight's going to be harder to hold on to than anything I've ever dealt with thus far. So rather than waiting till we get to that point and then trying to work on the hook grip, he wants me to start working on it now, so that when we get to that point, I'm already good to go and can start using that. So you guys are going to be seeing me, you know, struggle with that today. But anyway, I'm actually going to be training at a place called Elite Strength today. It's the new gym that the UNT powerlifting team will be training at. I think this is their official opening day. They have like just an open gym from like 1 to 7. It's already like 4 o'clock, but I promise that I try to come through. So it's gonna be great because it's a powerlifting gym, so I can get my deadlifts in, then get my pull day on. So yeah, that's what we're about to do. See you guys at the gym. All right, we're here. A little bit smaller than what I was expecting, but let's see what inside looks like. Speed. Alright guys, jumping in for a voiceover during the actual working set. So we worked up to, as I mentioned, pretty much we had 2 doubles with 364 pounds and then a back down set of 3x5 with 331 pounds. If the numbers seem a little bit weird, just once again, it's because we're using kilogram plates. So we got as close to like the designated numbers as possible, which I believe is like supposed to be 363 and 332 or something like that. But that's not the point. Just want to kind of take you guys through the cues once again and break it down that I'm going over as we lift. And these can be applied both to your sumo and conventional. As you guys are clearly going to see, my sumo is a little bit slower off the floor. Jacob's conventional is faster off the floor. That's normal. Plus, just still getting back used to sumo, it's going to be slower in general. But the main things is, if you guys notice with the setup, as you're about to see it with this next upcoming clip, I first make sure that I plant my feet firmly. I want to think of my feet as hooks, right? Almost like the way my coach described it is like my feet are each a tripod, with the big toe, pinky toe, and heels being the focus of the tripod. So I'm creating torsion with my feet, making a twisting motion with my feet, which causes my quads to be more activated as I hinge at the hips. From this point, after I get my hook grip nice and set up, I'm going to pull on the bar slightly already to make sure I'm ready to take tension out of it, to apply tension by pulling slack out of the bar. And from this point, I'm just driving through with my hips. So that's the main thing, guys. I'm focusing on hinging at the hips to get down to the bar rather than just bending over to get it or sitting down to get it. Make sure that I'm pulling up strong on that bar with my arms fully extended, tightening my back up, and then driving through with my hips, because the deadlift is a hip hinge dominant movement. That's the biggest thing. A lot of people mess up because they treat the deadlift as more of like a pull, because I guess that's what we call, right, a pull. So we think of it as like as a very back dominant movement, but really our back, even though our back is heavily involved, it's there more so just for stability and to help us maintain our position more than anything else. The back is there to make sure that our upper body stays in the correct position. We keep our back tight, our lats tight. It helps us with pulling the slack out of the bar. Once you pull that slack out, keep your back tight to keep the slack, pull down, keep the tension constant. But the focus needs to be on hinging at the hips and driving our hips through the bar. And that's whether you're pulling sumo or conventional. That is the focus of the movement. It is a hip hinge in nature. So as you guys can see right here, this is the point where I really couldn't handle the hook grip anymore. So I was happy I was able to keep up with it on my heavier sets. So I went back to mixed grip, but everything still stays the same. Pulling on the bar, and you guys will see the slight bend in the bar at the bottom right before I pull, and that's because I'm pulling that slack out. I pull up on a little bit just to already have a feel for it, then boom, right there you guys can see the slack pull out of the bar. That's why you don't see the bar like bend and then like you don't see the bar bending as it's coming up. It's already bent before I even pull the weight from the floor, because I'm making sure that all that slack is out, which just helps create constant tension. And by doing this, guys, when you pull slack at the bar, it just helps everything fall into place. It keeps your hips in the proper position so they don't shoot up too early. It's going to help you with keeping your back tight. And once again, you're going to be able to see with Jacob's conventional, same thing. His hips aren't coming up first, his back staying nice and tight because he's pulling that slack out of the bar before he pulls. And it's creating that slight bend in the bar that you can see. Obviously not a whole lot of bend right now. This isn't a lot of weight on the bar right now, just 331 pounds, but you guys get the idea. So yeah, pretty much just wanted to go over that so you guys can understand kind of like what cues I'm focusing on. And whenever someone talks about spreading the floor with sumo, it's literally just the equivalent of talking about creating that torque with your feet. You're trying to create that torsion, trying to really sink your feet in to the ground and keep your knees as pointed outward as you can. And this can be hard to do if you have your feet like too angled outwards, which is why you notice like my feet aren't like just completely to the side. They kind of have an angle to them, but you can see I'm still working on it because there's certain parts of the lift where you see my foot's kind of coming off the ground a little bit where my big toe would be. So it's just something I'm still trying to work on, but try to use these cues, guys, and they'll really help you out. And the same cues will be applied to the Pendlay Row whenever I talk about that with the tutorial over that. But yeah, I think that's pretty much all I had for you guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and let you enjoy the rest of the video.
Yep. Come on. Easy. This is there we go. Oh yeah. Beautiful. Nice. Let's go. Yep. Yeah. Two more times. Let's go. Yep. Yep. Let's go. Yep. Yep. Right on that. Oh! There you go, Shay. Easy work. Oh, yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Guys, is it?
Oh!
I don't think Jacob's strong enough to do close to me on his back.
Yeah, he did. How many?
Alright guys, so at this point, the workout you just saw was on Friday. And today's Monday. Your boy has been busy like over the weekend. Like literally I didn't even get to finish everything in the workout. Got through all the compound movements, but didn't even get to do all of the isolation accessory work because I had to rushed from the gym to somewhere else, and then just had a really long weekend, and just honestly forgot to close the video and do the outro. Because like I'm going through the film, I'm just like, yo, where did I not close this out? So I didn't close it out. But anyway, yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Just as a quick recap, the different cues that you really want to focus on is, once again, focusing first and foremost on hip hinging, because that is what a deadlift is by nature. It is a hip hinge more so than like a pull. It's not like a barbell row or a pull-up. It is focused on hip hinging. Your back, of course, is still involved, but it's more so for stability, maintaining your position as you complete the lift. Secondly is, of course, spreading the floor, making sure that, as I mentioned in the video, you want to focus on thinking of your feet as hooks, and you want to hook them into the ground. And you do this by creating torsion with your feet, creating torque with your feet, just by creating like that twisting motion that I once again described in the video. And as I said, my coach Nsima has plenty of great videos over there if you guys want to go check his channel out. Highly suggest you do. Very smart dude, very informative, and she just has really good like analogies to help you get an idea of like what you should be doing as far as your cues. And then lastly is make sure you pull the slack out of the bar, which is going to create more tension and make the pull a lot easier. It's going to help you with as far as keeping your hips in position, keeping your back tight. If you pull the slack out of the bar, it just makes a huge difference. So yeah, but yeah, that's it for the video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead and leave a comment down below. Let me know what you did. If you're not, leave a comment down below. Let me know what I can do to get better. Like the video, share, subscribe. Keep it simple, specific, scientific. I'll catch y'all later.